At this video, I'm going to show you how you can use simple command line in Ubuntu or Linux to control your webcam and customize it exactly the way you want. Most webcam have software. They are designed to be run on Windows or Mac OS, and unfortunately they don't really think about Linux, but no worries. On Linux we have freedom to do really whatever we want using simple command and bash script. So let's get started. I am using Elgato Facecam Pro on my Linux system. As you can see, it is recognized by device out of the box, and you have access to all the parameters. You can change the video format to H.264, motion JPEG, or other stuff. The first two options allow you to have a resolution up to 4K 60 frame per second, but they use more CPU. But I found that the second option doesn't use any CPU at all, and that is what I'm going to use because my laptop is not that powerful, but it allows me to have or record a video at full HD with 60 frame per second, which is exactly what I am looking for. But you have option to record or at higher resolution if you wish. Next, we can set the resolution, we can set the frame rate, and we have access to change the brightness. For example, you can see it just work out of the box. We can change the contrast, we can change the saturation, change the amount of the color, and so on. One thing I really like about this webcam is it allows me to set the focus to auto or manual. For example, right now I am using a manual mode here. What happens is if I put my hand near to the webcam, my face is still stay in focus. It doesn't really focus on my hand. So this is something I really like because I'm sitting on my chair and my distance all the time is same. But of course it allows you to manually change the focus. That shows that this webcam have an optical lens. Finally, we have zoom. We can change the amount of the zoom on the system. For example, we can go and up and down. So what I'm going to tell you is you can actually change all of these parameters through terminal and more. The first thing we need to do is let me check or see what kind of USB device I have. You can see Elgato Facecam Pro appear as a USB device. Perfect. For your info, this is a hungry webcam in terms of power and bandwidth. So I suggest check the connection using USB view. Here you can see that my webcam is connected directly to the host controller. It is not going to any USB hub. You can see that it is connected through USB 3, and it really needs about 1 ampere of power. Alright, we are good, and our webcam have everything it need to function right. Fast bandwidth and the power and the connection and everything is good. With that, we can go to the next step, which is controlling the webcam. In order to control the webcam, we need to use a software. It's called V4L-util. You can install it with this command sudo apt-get install v4l-utils. I already have it. So let's list our webcam using this command. You can see the Elgato Face webcam is listed, so we can continue to customize it based on our need. So in order to do that, we can use v4l2-ctl with dash list dash control command to see everything that is available to us. We can change the brightness. You can see the value right now. We can change the contrast, saturation, and so many other options. For example, here, let's get the brightness value. Is simple as using this command. We can set the brightness and it will show the brightness value right there. Let me bring it in the middle so you can see it better. What if you want to see the value for contrast? You just need to change the parameter to contrast, and it shows the value is 32, which is exactly the value we have here, which is the default value. It can be changed from 0 to 64. Okay, let's say we want to change the brightness. So how we do that? It's same command. You just add equal and change the value. I want to change it to 30, and we need to change the get to set, so it will change the brightness. So let me press on the enter so you can see the change. Look at my face. 3, 2, 1. As you can see, the brightness on webcam is changed. If I want to change it back to the original value, I can do that here. This is this way how you can change the parameter for your webcam through a terminal. But what I really like is changing the focus absolute and zoom absolute. In order to change the focus, we need to change the focus to manual. So let's do that. Let's change the focus from auto to manual. It would be like setting that to 0. So now the autofocus is disabled, and with that we can change the focus. The focus doesn't change at all. So the next thing I want to bring up is changing zoom absolute. So why we change the focus? Because we can zoom in and zoom out without changing the focus with the next command. Let's say zoom absolute. As you can see, the zoom absolute, the minimum is 100 and the max is 400, and the default value right now is 161. So let's change that to 1. This will be equal to zoom out. As you can see, it shows everything in my room. You can see all the mess, my microphone and everything here. So let's zoom in to a perfect size. It would be 150. I think this is a nice value. If you want to zoom more, you can do that. This will be 200, and it can go up as much as 300 and even more, which is 400. Yeah, as you can see, that is actually quite nice zoom. It shows all the details on my face, which is not really good. That's what happened when you get a good webcam. So in order to solve that, we back to a nice value. This is something nice. All right, what else we can do here? Can we change them by hotkeys? Yes, we can do that. In order to change them with hotkey, we will need to copy same value inside a shell script. I'm showing my example shell script that I use myself. When I pass a parameter of 0, you can see it disable autofocus. It says the zoom, absolute, the brightness, the color, and everything basically I want. And for different hotkey, I have different value. And then I am using X-bind keys. This allow me to call the script with different parameter, and it can be tied to a hotkey. So when I press Control Shift Alt plus 0, it will run this section. And same if I press Control Shift Alt 9, it will run this section. So you can see I have different parameter here. For number 7, I just change the brightness. For number 6, I change the brightness back to normal. And using 5, 4, 3, or 2, I can change the zoom level. So let's test that together. Okay, here you can see my webcam in full screen, and if I press Control Alt Shift 0, it will zoom out, and I need to bring it here so you can see. And if I press Control Shift 9, it would be here, and finally this is another. So I have 3. You can see I immediately can change the value using those hotkey. It works in OBS, also it works in Team, Zoom, or any software. And if I press other keys, I can change the brightness. This is the really brightness I'm using. And finally I can change the zoom here. So that's how really you can use some command line, some simple command line to change the parameter for your webcam. Let me give you some more examples. Let's say we want to change the saturation. This is something nice. Okay, in order to do that, we need to change the command to set the value for saturation. And if we look at the value for saturation, you can see the minimum is 0, max is 128, and the default is 64. So if I set it to 64, that's the default value that you can see for my camera. The color is just normal. If I put it to 0, you can see there is no color. It becomes just black and white. And if I change the parameter to 1 to 8, oh man, that's so colorful. You can of course use the different value for testing and find the perfect value. And finally, once you found all the value based on your need, you just need to create a simple webcam script and put them exactly like this, and call them with either from terminal, or you can bind them with hotkey using X-bind keys. And really that's way how you can control your webcam from terminal or a script. That's all, guys. I hope you enjoy this video. If you have any other question, let me know and I will be glad to answer. Have a wonderful day.